You wake up one morning. No alarms, no warnings. Just a quiet number on a screen, smaller than it should be. You didn't buy anything, you didn't lose your card. No suspicious transactions, no late-night impulse purchases. Yet somehow, your money slipped away. Not dramatically, not all at once, just enough to feel off. Most people ignore moments like this. A memory slip, a timing issue, a missing notification. But it's not an accident. It's not a glitch. It's not your imagination. It's the system, doing what it always does. And the uncomfortable truth is this: your money disappears even when you don't spend it. The real question is why. Let's take this slowly, carefully, because the answer isn't loud. It isn't obvious. It lives in the quiet corners of how modern finance actually works. Start with something simple: a loan, a mortgage, a student balance, a business credit line, a government bond. Ordinary things, everyday things, things that don't feel dramatic at all. But when someone borrows money, something almost magical happens. New money appears, out of nothing. Not transferred, not moved, created. A swipe on a keyboard, a number typed into existence. Most people still believe banks lend out deposits. They imagine a vault. They imagine other people's money being passed around. The reality is much quieter and much stranger. Banks don't lend money they have. They lend money they create. Every loan is a small expansion of the money supply, a tiny distortion, a new slice added to the pie. When enough slices are added, your slice shrinks. Your dollars dilute. Your savings weaken. Your purchasing power thins out. No alarms, no announcements, just erosion. This is the first mechanism behind disappearing money: creation. Now let's add the second. Debt grows, automatically. Interest is a strange force. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't pause. It doesn't negotiate. A loan creates new money, but the interest owed on that loan does not exist yet. So tomorrow, the world owes more money than exists today. The next day, even more. Then more again. This creates a permanent pressure, a gap that must be filled, a mismatch between what exists and what must be paid back. There are only two ways to fill that gap: more borrowing or more money creation. Either way, the result is the same: more dilution. This is the second mechanism behind disappearing money: growth. Growth not of wealth, but of obligations. Now, let's slow down for a moment because this part matters. When new money enters the system, it does not sprinkle evenly across the population. It doesn't fall like gentle rain. It lands like a targeted storm. The first receivers are always the same: banks, financial institutions, large corporations, the top of the ladder. They get access before prices rise, before dilution shows up in your grocery bill, before rent adjusts, before wages lag. They buy assets early: real estate, stocks, commodities, using money that didn't exist yesterday. By the time the new money reaches you, prices have already corrected upward. You get the inflation. They get the appreciation. This isn't a conspiracy. It's structural, predictable, documented. The system rewards those closest to the source and punishes those furthest away. Your money doesn't disappear because you made a mistake. It disappears because you are downstream in a river that flows one direction. Let's zoom in on your daily life. You earn a salary. Let's say it's a comfortable one. On paper, it looks stable, predictable, reassuring. But the world around you does not stand still. Rent creeps. Groceries edge up. Utilities inch higher. Medical costs surge unpredictably. Insurance premiums adjust quietly in the night. These increases don't ask your permission. They don't check if you're ready. They happen because they happen. Meanwhile, your salary updates once a year, maybe. if someone approves it, if the company performs well, if budgets allow, if your manager remembers. You're living in a system that moves constantly while your income moves occasionally. That gap, that silent space, is where your money disappears. Now let's zoom even further out. Every major economy today is built on debt, not as a flaw, as a feature. Governments borrow to fund services, businesses borrow to grow, consumers borrow to live, banks borrow to lend, markets borrow to invest. This entire structure, every part of it, relies on constant expansion. If borrowing slows, the system shivers. If borrowing stops, the system cracks. If borrowing reverses, the system breaks. So the system must encourage more borrowing, more creation, more money, more dilution. Even if it means your savings fade, even if it means your paycheck weakens. This is the quiet paradox. For the system to keep working, your money must lose value over time. It's not personal, it's structural. It's the mathematical side effect of keeping the machine running. Now add one more layer, the modern speed of money. Markets move billions per second. Algorithms trade thousands of times a minute. Capital crosses borders instantly. Assets inflate and deflate faster than human attention spans. We live in the fastest financial era in history while earning in the slowest wage system in history. Your income is analog. The world is digital. Your financial life updates yearly. The global system updates constantly. You don't fall behind because you're careless. You fall behind because the world speeds up while your income stands still. At this point, we could talk about solutions, ways to protect yourself, strategies to hold value, alternatives to traditional saving. But that's not what this video is about. This is about seeing the mechanism clearly, without noise, without jargon, without comforting stories. Because once you understand the system, its incentives, its constraints, its pressures, you stop taking disappearing money personally. You stop blaming yourself. You stop feeling like you're doing something wrong. You start seeing the structure instead of the symptoms. And that brings us to the final tension, the unresolved truth. If money disappears simply by sitting still, what does it mean to save? Is saving the number on your screen, or the purchasing power behind it, or the time you traded to earn it? If the system must dilute your savings to stay alive, then what exactly are you preserving when you save? A number? A promise? A memory of effort? Or something else entirely? This question doesn't have a clean answer. Not yet. Not here. Because the deeper question is even harder. If standing still costs you money, what does moving forward look like? And in a system where money shrinks simply by existing, what does it mean to protect your future? That's where we'll go next time, into the choices this system forces on all of us, the trade-offs, the risks, the uncomfortable realities. For now, remember this. Your money doesn't disappear when you spend it. It disappears when the world keeps borrowing more than it can repay. And as long as that continues, your dollars will begin shrinking the moment you earn them. The real tension is not the disappearance. It's what you choose to do once you finally notice. And that choice is the beginning of a much bigger story.